Okay, good afternoon, everybody. This is Jim Dengis at Credit Suite. I am Ty Crandall's Business Development Director. Ty is doing one of the tenets that Napoleon Hill espouses, and that's a mastermind. So Ty will be back with us a little later in the week. So he's asked me to go ahead and tell you about how you get your business listed the right way so that you can meet the criteria that the underwriters, credit issuers, lenders are really looking forward how they can get you that money. So in building your business, the first thing is to make sure that everything that you have listed is congruent, from your bank account information to your listing at Dun & Bradstreet to how you're actually listed at your Secretary of State. So we're going to come up with some hints, tricks to that. For a lot of you people that have been following us, you already know Ty. He's our CEO here at Credit Suite. Many of you have probably already read the Business Credit Decoded book. You can always contact us at the 877-600-2487 or info@CreditSuite will get you right here. So what I want to talk about a little bit is distinguishing between business credit and your personal credit and what it means. So when we're looking at your business credit, what it is, it's a completely separate wallet that is attached to a company's EIN. So now you have credit that's attached to your EIN. It has nothing to do with association of the business owner's social security number. I like to put it that you have two wallets. You have a personal credit wallet and you have a wallet that's associated with your EIN. The beauty of that is they are completely separate. In other words, someone with an 800 personal score or a 400 credit score can build business credit just the same. So therefore, these scores can really diverge dramatically. So you can have overutilization of your personal credit, which, as you know, hurts your personal credit score, and still build a very strong business credit profile, and therefore be able to fund and grow your business based on the credit attached to your company's EIN. Now, in this business credit, it's associated in the business's name. It is not associated with the business owner's name or social security. And unlike personal credit, business credit is based solely on the business's ability to pay. So what you're doing on the personal side, again, is a separate wallet. I like to have two of them separate. There's a few other criteria where utilization in business credit is not as important as in your personal credit. Say, for instance, once you get to 30% utilization in your personal credit can suffer. And the business credit, it is more based on that business's ability to pay and not your personal ability to pay. So since the business qualifies for the credit, as you can probably guess, leveraging a business is much stronger than leveraging your personal credit because of the utilization. Now, a business usually qualifies for 5, 10, 20, 50, sometimes even 100 times more than what you can get on the personal side. So you can see the importance of carrying a business credit. And when it's done right, again, it's obtained with no personal credit check required from the business owner. We're going to do a no docs process on how to get through your EIN credit. Now, what's that for you? It means that you are not, as the business owner, personally liable for the credit that the business now obtains. That way your house is safe, your family is safe, everything is safe. So now, how do we leverage this and how do we get to business fundability? So any lender, creditor, underwriter wants to feel that that company is fundable before they're going to open their wallets and give you some money. They're going to want to know that you have the ability to pay that loan back to them. That's how they determine the risk, the terms, the rate that's applied to that loan. Higher credit ratings obviously get better terms, better rates. So that lender does want to feel a company is fundable before they open their wallets to you. What's happening in today's economy is a lot of e-commerce is happening. So underwriters, lenders, creditors, they're now looking at online and off business listings. They aren't just for show anymore. A lot of people used to just put things up on the internet. They are actually seeking these things out to show that you have a business presence in the community, because as you know, a lot of business is done over the internet and realistically over any mobile devices anymore. So online and offline business listings are very important to what you're doing, because they allow the underwriter, the creditor, the lender to see that you're established. If they can find you easily, it gives them that peace of mind that your business is going to be that one business that can pay that loan back. So they're really looking for all these things. Now, the lenders and credit issuers will see that you have this presence, you have an online presence, and they feel that you're the real deal. They feel you're credible. They feel they can find you. You're not trying to hide from anybody. And that's the real thing, is anybody that's not looking to pay them back is usually trying to find a way around it. So they try to hide. And so, if they can't find your business, it gives them the feeling that they get nervous. They can't find you. Your business isn't credible. So building the business credibility is the first way or first step to make your business credible to lenders, creditors, and to build business credit as you go along. So, and going along with the business fundability, we want to establish that professional appearance, because it's going to make a difference when the underwriter looks at your business. If an underwriter looks at a business and they are looking all over, they can't find an online presence, they can't find you anywhere, they're going to get really nervous, as opposed to they look up your business. There's your professional website. There's your domain. And we're going to talk about the importance of the domain as well. And everything looks congruent and polished to them. Wouldn't you be much more comfortable lending money to a business of that? And that's the way you've got to look at it. Would I lend money to this entity? Because that's exactly the way they're going to look at it. So to them, that's just it. You've got to be fundable and make them not nervous on paying the things back. As you've heard me already mention, this is not the time for your business to hide. What we're looking for is to go ahead and let them find you, let them see you, let them see the presence that you have. They want to know that you are the real deal. You are the people that are going to pay them back. And that's going to go far in building your business credit. You just need to be found by the right people. So it's the people that are looking for you to be credible so that they can give you money. The only way a lender creditor makes money is by lending money. So even though the underwriter's job is to find every way possible not to give you that money, they still only make money by giving people money. Be the right people that the lenders, creditors want to give the money to. So let's talk about what they do. They will check your online reputation. They will go through, they will see that you have a professional website. Does it have your domain name? Is everything set up? They'll go and check Better Business Bureau. They'll go check other credibility factors to make sure that you are that professional business. You are what they're looking for. You meet the underwriter's criteria to make your business fundable. Now, having no listing, or as I was talking about before, hiding from people, they don't know why you're hiding. Why are you hiding? What are you getting away from? Who are you hiding from? Have you reneged on a loan before? So having no listing actually equals a bad online reputation. So not being able to be found gives the underwriter the impression that you're hiding from something, and gives them all more reason to red flag that application. So what we've talked about is the coming of the electronic age, and even the most non-technical professions are really, they need that online presence. So I hear a lot of people say, well, I don't deal in technology, I don't deal in those things, I don't need to be found online. Well, if you want to get money from the lenders, credit issuers, people that are doing these things, you have to have that online presence. That is just the way that commerce is being done in today's society, and you're missing the boat anyway if you don't have an online presence. So, as I just said, even if your clientele isn't too computer savvy, the underwriter is looking for you to make that presentation to them so that they know that you are indeed credible. So, as you've already heard me talk about making a professional looking website, um, let them come and see that you are a business. Email address. I see a lot of businesses still using some of the pop emails, the Gmails, the Hotmails. Really looking professional would be an email that commands your domain. So, as you know, a lot of these people, when they put your website up, they will give you a domain name, and you can go ahead and get your email in that domain. It just looks better than if you're listing a business as a Gmail address, that you're actually listing it through your domain, through your website. I'm sure you'd all agree that that looks much more professional when it says who you are. For instance, right here at CreditSuite, it's really simple. I'm Jim at CreditSuite.com. We're using our domain name to get out there. So again, just what I went over, buying domain name, hosting provider, GoDaddy, you will get some email addresses so that you can put your domain name on there. And, I know some domain names are taken, but that should be your business name, should be your domain name. If you can't get that, what you need to do is you need to get a little creative. Use some signs, use some numbers, use some things that really show who you are or relate to your business. Maybe say what your business does. Tells what you're doing. The other thing is, when you're doing that, you don't want these things to get too long. You don't want people to come up with not being able to find you, or just hard to remember. Things that are short, catchy, or your business name are really the ideal of what you want to do when you're putting your business online for them to find. And the other thing is now that you're online, where do you get this to? How do they find you? Well, there's obviously your business cards. I know we're in Florida here, as you probably know from working with Ty here in Florida. You can be on menus, flyers, bookmarks, bulletin boards in places. There's a ton of way to get your name out there with your domain on it for people to find you. There's just other swag. We give a lot away when we do live events. So for live events, we always give everything, but it will always have the CREDITSUITE.com on there. So we want people to be able to find us. The same with you. You want people to be able to find your business. You want them to know who you are. You want to drive them to your site. So now that you've driven them there, we go back to what we're talking about, having a professional looking site out there for them. The more professional you look better to your customer and clientele's eyes. But more importantly, as far as fundability, you look like a real business and very fundable to an underwriter. .com is obviously always the best, but as as you know, sometimes when those names are full, you can find that exact same name on a .net or a .us as really a substitute for that. So again, if you can't get exactly what you're looking for, go ahead, get created, use numbers, numerals, catchphrases, something related to your business. Just don't make it too hard, too long for people to try to figure out. And the idea is, I know that we own multiple websites at CreditSuite. We want to have all these. What it does is it really makes a great SEO or search engine optimization for your business, especially when you can use keywords and own all these sites that you have. So owningyourcompany.com.net, it's not just a nice idea, it's a huge business strategy. Just think if you become a target of an online smear campaign, you can move from that entity to one of the others. It's if an underwriter or creditor is looking for you, how easy is it for them to find if you're CreditSuite.com, CreditSuite.net, CreditSuite.us, if your name is everywhere, the underwriter is going to be able to find you. The easier it is to find you, the more credible you look, the easier it is for them to take a risk on getting funding for your business. So social media crisis, we've all seen these. So there's a lot of important reasons to try to get all these. Ty put on here, some of the other ones, yourcompanystinks.com. So, some of the earthier versions get funny. Yeah, if there's ever an online crisis, you'll be glad that you owned all these. And not only that, but as you know, there's a lot of, what do you say, unscrupulous people. Is that the way to put it? That try to spoof your site or just try to take some of your revenue. So if you make it really tough on them, you make it much, much harder for them to benefit by the good, strong name that you've made for your business. So I go back to the domain name. So the business email address should really be professional. So if you get a website, you go to like GoDaddy, someone like them, they're going to give you an option to use an email address with that domain on it. So you really want to use that. If you notice, we use a lot info@creditsuite.com. I've seen a lot of businesses use admin. What that does is it gives you a general mailbox for things to file in, and keeps your personal email really out of a lot of what's going on. So the professional domain names, it's just when you use info or admin, it is much easier for you to be able to scale when you've got a general inbox. Because as a CEO, you don't have the time to manage an inbox on a business email. Now your admin people have access to the admin or to the info, and you still have access to your personal info that you're not sharing with the admin. So it gives you a way, whether you outsource this information, you hire in, it gives you a way to much easier scale up the business through your email. So again, if it was your name at your website, as I just went through, there might be some emails that you get in there that you don't want your admin to see or not privy to. It makes it much tougher for you to scale up your business. You'll want to save your name at something for some of the more pressing things of your business, some of the things that you personally want to manage. Let your admin or your VA or whatever you have manage the rest of that and make it much easier for you to scale up your business. Now, again, going back to the too long, non-memorable, just don't get too cute with the names. Um, you know, like here at Credit Suite, Ty at CreditSuite.com, Jim at CreditSuite.com. We make things really simple. And again, we use the info so that the admin here at Credit Suite is able to manage those inboxes for us. So that way, when mail actually comes to us, it's actually something that we know that we need to put our eyes on immediately here at Credit Suite. So, cutie pie, you're right. It's not good. It doesn't convey a professional message to the outside world, especially again, underwriters are very black and white people. They don't see the gray area. It's either a yes or a no. So when they see a cutie pie, that's going to go in the no category. That's not going to be in the yes category. So let's talk about phones and the importance of phones, because everybody's carrying cell phones. Everybody's got a cell phone for business, which is absolutely awesome. But that should not be your main business line. What it does is it doesn't present, again, that professional appearance. Your home or cell phone, even if you are working a home business, should not be your main point of contact. You should be out there and get a separate business entity, business line that's dedicated to your business. Now, can your cell phone be on your business card for direct contact? Sure. Do you want everybody and their brother calling your cell phone? Probably not, which makes it a real important reason why you can put everybody into a separate business line, and you can manage that from there. So when we're talking about dedicated lines, I know this is going back years and years now. You really need a fax number. Believe it or not, it's still important in the world of funding. So we have a fax number and we don't use it. Yeah, I know. We're in an electronic age. We scan and send emails, but they are still looking for fax because some vendors still like to fax applications. Don't know why they haven't come kicking and screaming into the 21st century here, but that is one of the things that still happens. So a fax is still very, very important in credibility of the business phone. So once we have that business phone and that fax number, these should be listed on 411.com. Once you're listed on 411.com, how easy is it for the creditors, lenders, and the underwriters to find your business at that? Makes it very easy, makes you very credible. So if you have a business name number, you have a fax line, you are looking like a big business to these lenders, creditors, underwriters. And if at all possible, that business phone number should be toll free. You want people to be able to call you from anywhere. So 800, 877, 866, you all know that. So what that does is, again, gives you that professional appearance that we're looking for. So let's talk about your business address. Even if the company's just you're the only person in the company, you should have a business address that is not your personal address. Even if you are operating that business out of your home, they want to see that you have a professional appearance. So some of the solutions that you have on that, I'm sure a lot of you have heard or know about virtual addresses. At Credit Suite, we find virtual addresses to be really a great solution for someone working out of their home or not having a professional business address. If you just don't have that brick and mortar presence, what this does is it gives you the appearance of a brick and mortar presence. We always work with Alliance at CREDITSUITE just because we found them to really fit all the criteria that we found works in building business credit. And they come in at, a reasonable price. Regus and DaVinci both offer the same virtual address service. Regus has many other services, even where you can have conference rooms or rooms there. So you can have a virtual address, you can have a conference room there. They do give you many choices. So depending on your budget, you can just get a virtual office, or you can have a virtual office that actually has an office you can use in it. What we found is not every area does have a virtual address. So sometimes your virtual address may not be in your area, but we found that they can be in your state. So if you find that your area really doesn't come up with a virtual office for there, see what your fellow entrepreneurs are doing. How are they listing it? And then just find out what they do. Follow that role. But what I see is, if you're in one area and 100 miles up the state, they do have virtual office. A lot of people are buying that virtual office to be their virtual office. A lot of them have mail forwarding as well if you need that service. So let's talk about a brick and mortar address. Entrepreneur Magazine, of which we're going to soon be a contributing columnist to Entrepreneur Magazine. You've heard it in real estate all the time: location, location, location. So Entrepreneur merely states that location is really your number one concern. What you want to do is you want to figure out your target market. And once you find your target market, that's pretty much where you want to be if you want a brick and mortar. You don't want your target market to have to seek you out, to have to find you. So location is very key in what you're doing. Where do your competitors sit? Where are they? Are they successful competitors? Are they non-successful competitors? Does their location make them successful? Are they in a bad location where their product is not well received there? Take advantage of someone doing the research for you ahead of time. Don't try on there yourself. Let people that have already been there learn from what they've done, and now you can take that and you can build your business without having to take the time or make the mistakes needed to figure out where you need to be. So take advantage of the research. But I've seen this happen many times as people have gone out, they found what they thought was the perfect area to put their business in, only to be found once they secure that property that area is not zoned for your type of business. So be sure before you secure a property to make sure that that area is zoned for your business ahead of time. You don't want to go and sign on the dotted line and then find that your business is not zoned for that area. That can be a very costly mistake that I've seen kill many, many entrepreneurs. So remember to take that into consideration when you're looking for that. So we've talked about the congruency of websites, emails, phones, location. Let's talk about bank accounts, because all these things really have to be in place and congruent with each other in order for the underwriter, lender, creditor to find you easily. If you have one name at a bank and then another name on your Dun & Bradstreet listing, and then another one with your Secretary of State, you can see how an underwriter would be very confused and not really want to work with you. In other words, put up that red flag. So you need a bank account that is not in your name. It needs to be in the bank account's name listed with the EIN of the business and is strictly for the business. You don't want to commingle your funds for various reasons. One, obviously accounting purposes, tax purposes, and two, just for credibility, so that people know that your business is your business. It's not a hobby. If it's in your name, it looks like a hobby, and you want to look professional to these underwriters. So again, as I mentioned, it's going to be particularly helpful at tax time. It's really easy to if you have a separate bank account, to pull out your personal and business funds. The IRS takes a very dim view of that, as we all know. And I already said it really makes the accounting easier. We all want to reduce the risk of audit on that end. So we want to keep these two separate. So just like we want to keep our personal credit and our business credit separate, you want to do the same thing with your bank accounts. Like I said, taxation, everything else, make sure you got a separate bank account. But the thing about that is make sure that bank account, the listed address, is the same address that you have listed at Dun & Bradstreet, the same address that you have listed with your Secretary of State. Again, the congruency of all these. Now, if your business is required to have a license, make sure that you do require all the proper licensing. I know all businesses do not require that, but you should check with your state. Your Secretary of State will be very, very helpful in doing this. There are some businesses that are run unlicensed, and people say, well, I didn't know I need a license. And that's how they get shut down. So just do your due diligence on your business and make sure you have all the license needed for running the business. Again, you've heard me stress this on the bank accounts, the Dun & Bradstreet, the Secretary of State. Make sure the license address is in the exact correct name of the business. Make everything the same. Make everything same across the board. You're going to be better off in the long run. It's things that you don't have to go back and change later. It takes money, time, and effort. And as you well know, as you're building a business, the thing that you run out of first usually isn't money. It's usually your time. So the same addresses, the same phone numbers, everything we've been saying. Again, in the licensing, if your business does require a license, sometimes every government entity wants to dip their hand into your pocket. The local government wants you to have a license. The city government wants you to have a license. The county wants you to have a license. And of course, the state wants you licensed. So make sure you do your due diligence and don't skimp on any of them, because it seems like the smaller the entity, the easier it is to come after you to get that. Just make everything right the first time. And again, as you've already heard me say, check the Secretary of State. They have a wealth of information, and that's their job to really help get that. And they are a wealth of information. They're a really database. So the message that we've had so far is really how to be congruent all the way across the board. Not only does it help you build business credit, but it's also going to help your fundability. When everything looks the same, you just look better to everyone. So everybody, not everyone, a lot of people ask me, how much does it cost for an EIN? You go to irs.gov, you fill out, I believe it's Form SS4, and you get a free EIN for your business. So an EIN for your business is absolutely free. So if you haven't already done that, just know that the first step to that is free. Now, what you want to do is you want to select a business entity. We strongly discourage sole proprietorships because that puts the business into your name. Get a business entity and get a corporation, LLC, S Corp, C Corp, however you want to do. we strongly dissuade you from doing a sole prop. It's harder to build business credit. It's harder to disassociate your personal credit from your business credit because everything comes back to you in your name in a sole proprietorship. Although you can start off as one, you're going to likely change to that corporation or partnership just for the reasons I just told you about. So the idea is, again, to separate you from the business. You want to minimize your risk. You don't want to have your house up as a problem for your business, and you want to maximize your tax benefits because, as you know, businesses do have a lot of tax write-offs that are even better than what you can get personally. So the worst case scenario is go with a DBA, doing business as. So that gets you into a business name and away from your own name. We want to separate both the business and the personal. So I'm working with the IRS. If you don't use a DBA and your personal name is said, it now comes out as the same as your company name. Now you're personally liable for all the business debts, just as I talked about. And look at the chances of a sole proprietorship or something in your name of an IRS audit. 1 in 7. Wow, that's pretty high rate because, as you know, the overall chance audit is much less than 1 in 7. So just another reason to really set your corporation up right. It protects you in more ways than one. And there you go, a 1 in 50 chance of incorporated businesses, from 1 in 7 to 1 in 50, much less to get audited. And it just the IRS, like everybody else, just looks at a business being more professional. They think there's less risk, so that's how they accredit you and say that we really don't need to audit this business. They look credible. They look like they know what they're doing. So even if you don't, you've heard the fake it till you make it. Make sure you look like a business. Now, in today's society, we carry cards around everywhere. So getting a merchant account is very, very important in what you're doing. With a merchant account, you can now take credit cards, debit cards, and I know that that's almost solely the way I do business. And with the pay things they have anymore, you've got tap and scan and everything. So you need to have your business entity have the ability to accept credit and debit cards. The other thing is, the studies show that people on credit cards will spend more. If you look into your wallet and you have $100, you want to keep some money. I need some money down the road, and you'll end up maybe not spending that $100. But on a card, there's nothing in your wallet that's coming out. It's much easier to get your customers to spend that money, much easier for you to upsell them, much easier for you to get more money out of them. If you're, hey, just put it on the card. You can pay the card later. So it's real important. It's going to be a major contributor if they can pay by the card to increase your revenue. And then it just gives you more options to take funds to build your business. So let's go and talk about reporting the business credit. As most of you know, the major reporters for business credit are Experian, Equifax, and Dun & Bradstreet. Of the 3 of those, Dun & Bradstreet actually requires you to go to their website and look for your business. They actually require you to register with them. Why do they require you to register with them? There's one simple reason. because they want to market to you. They want to sell you business credit monitoring. They want to sell you business credit builders. They have a lot of things. Dun & Bradstreet is an amazing marketing machine that's woven itself into really the fabric of American business. So when you start looking at things, once you're registered, make sure you go to the website and make sure you look and make sure your business is there. You know, if you're not there, then you get the DUNS number, which is your DMB number to create your score with Dun & Bradstreet. That DUNS number is basically a database. Dun & Bradstreet is really a data warehouse. They want to collect the data on your business, and that helps their marketing machine. So you need to get that into your system. With Experian and Equifax, they're not requiring any registration whatsoever. So many of you have already heard the PAYDEX score. That's the score that's generated by Dun & Bradstreet. Paying your business debts on time generates an 80 PAYDEX score. You know, without this DUNS number, without registering with Dun & Bradstreet, there's no record of you with Dun & Bradstreet. Therefore, you will not get a PAYDEX score. PAYDEX score, though I know a lot of creditors use the Experian and Equifax, a PAYDEX score is something that they definitely look to make sure that you have. So again, just like Dun & Bradstreet, search the Equifax Experian sites for your business. Make sure you're there. Now, you will not show up into Equifax or Experian usually until you've made a credit transaction, because there's no data for them to collect on, and you don't need to register with them. So since they don't need to register, they have no data on you until data comes to them from someone that's reporting on your company. Or you can come right to www.creditsuite.com/reports, and you can go ahead and look up your business. So this is just a little something. I'll make sure that's up there for everybody to see. So the creditsuite.com/reports/ we'll do a search and make sure we got Equifax, Experian, and DMB in there. So you know, if you haven't researched your business, sometimes you can build some business credit without even knowing it. Sometimes you can damage your business credit without even knowing it. It's always good to go and take a look and see what these agencies have reported on you. You know, just what I was saying, sometimes you don't know that you've built credit. Check it for accuracy and completeness. If you think there's something missing, contact them and make sure that it's added. If there's an inaccuracy, make sure you start a dispute process with that to get that removed. You know, when you start to get credit from places that are reporting to them, that's, like I said, then they'll have something in their system on you. But until you get credit or start working with them, Experian and Equifax have nothing in the system on you at that time. So let's go over a couple of little things that we've done today and how you can put all these things in order to make yourself look great to the lender, look great to the creditor, and really look good to that underwriter. So you've heard me talk about, you just don't put your name out there. We talked about the credibility. We've talked about going up and doing a website. We've talked about putting out phone numbers, addresses. So you need to set your business up, and the sooner that you get it congruent across all entities, the better. So if your address is the same at Dun & Bradstreet, Experian, Equifax, with your Secretary of State, your business bank account has the same address on it, you look professional, you look put together, you look like somebody that can get funded. You look professional to them. So having a professional entity requires that online presence, address, phone, fax number. I know fax number, we all look, what's a fax number? For some reason that we've talked about the website, the email addresses. Again, remember, it's looks much better to everyone if that email address matches your domain name, and if the domain name matches your business name. Oh my gosh, even better. You look fantastic with that. Like I said here, I'm Jim at CREDITSUITE.com. Just use your domain name. Don't skimp on, I'll buy that license later. I've seen many businesses that didn't get licensed, that they knew they knew they needed licenses. They thought, well, I'm going to get this business up on the cheap. I'm going to do a couple jobs. I'm going to get some money in, and then I'll get the licenses. Not only did they come in, shut the business down, they gave them exorbitant fines from which they could never get out from under again. And you can absolutely know that that business did not last whatsoever. So getting started, it's important to get that free EIN at irs.gov. And again, I believe it's Form SS4, free form, and choose your business entity. Again, though you can start as a sole prop, you're going to spend money to change it. We strongly recommend that you start as an LLC or a partnership, so that you're not spending more money down the road and going through and having to change everything. See, if you start out as a sole prop and you got that on your business bank account, you've got that D&B, you've got that Experian Equifax, then you change to an LLC. Not only do you got to pay the money to the Secretary of State to change that, now you've got to take all the time to go back and change all that sole prop into the business entity you're doing, SC Corp, partnership, LLC. So make sure that you do that right the first time. A DUNS number, again, a DUNS number, going to D&B to get a DUNS number, again, by law is free. That doesn't mean that Dun & Bradstreet isn't going to try to sell you something on that, because that's why they want you to register. And then just check and see if your company does have any listings with Experian and Equifax. So the idea today is to look great to lenders, creditors, underwriters, and to meet their credibility and approval standards. The things are to look professional. Again, these underwriters are people just like you and I. When you're looking for something or to help somebody, you're looking for the easiest way to get it done. The same with the underwriters. If you're credible, you look credible, your business looks great, it's going to be much easier for you to get that approval. So just again, the recap, make sure that you have a professional on-site website. Make sure that your email is professional, preferably with your domain. Make sure you have a business address, business phone, business fax. Make sure that your business bank account matches everything else that you have. And you're going to greatly increase the way you look to an underwriter credit issuer. In this slide, Ty's been very gracious. As I mentioned at the start of the thing, Ty is doing one of Napoleon Hill's tenants from Think and Grow Rich. He is out masterminding. I will see him later in this week. I got the sub today. My name's Jim. I'm the Business Development Director at CreditSuite. And you can always contact us at 877-600-2487. You can go to our website at www.creditsuite.com, and you can always email us. Remember, I showed you how to do the info at creditsuite.com. If there's any other questions that you have on this, you can absolutely email me as well at jim@creditsuite.com. It's been my pleasure today filling in for Ty. I appreciate everybody coming today to this live training. And I wish each and every one of you success in the business that you're doing today or going to undertake soon. Everybody have a great day.